We played. We laughed. We were loved. We ripped from the arms of our parents and thrown into the fire. We were nothing more than children. We had a future. We were going to be doctors, lawyers, rabbis, wives, teachers, mothers. We had dreams. Then we had no hope. We were taken away in the dead of the night, like cattle in cars, no air to breathe, smothering, crying, starving, dying, separated from the world to be no more. From the ashes, hear our plea. This atrocity to mankind cannot happen again. Remember us, for we were the children whose dreams and lives were stolen away.
In Birkenau, they had a bunch of picnic tables lined up. Behind the picnic table, there was a gentleman sitting there with a prison uniform on. And we had to walk by the table. He would ask us where we came from, what our name was, how old we were. And as this gentleman taken my name, all of a sudden looks up at me and he says, "You are my cousin." I have never known him. He was from Czechoslovakia, but he was in the camp already for quite some time. And they gave him the job of registering along with many other the people that were arriving. So he tells me, that you have to get out of here. And of course I had no idea what he had in mind. But that's the last time I saw him. But days later, somehow they got me and loaded me in another train and took me to a place called Mauthausen. Mauthausen is in the Austrian Alps. All the mountains surround us. We quickly discovered that Mauthausen is another death camp. What they were doing in Mauthausen is blasting the rocks out of the top of the mountain and having us take it back to the top of the mountain. This was the way they were going to murder us.
I know some of my family was in the Holocaust. I have family from Russia and then Poland, and I know some parts of my great-grandmother's family were able to come back before Hitler invaded, but I know some of them, obviously documents were lost and we can't go all the way back and see who specifically was involved with it, but we definitely have lost.
My family's from Germany. The Jewish part of my family's from Germany. And my grandfather was pretty lucky to come over to the United States because once the Holocaust started to rev up, the U.S. didn't accept that many Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe. So we were definitely blessed. So. We do Shabbat every now and then. We celebrate all the big holidays now, like Hanukkah, Yom Kippur, Passover, all that stuff. I learned how to speak Hebrew, but I forgot over the years. But yeah, I definitely would like to get more in touch with my Jewish heritage, I guess. Start doing a little bit more, or practicing our tradition a little bit more.
My family celebrates Hanukkah, Passover, Yom Kippur. I should probably go to temple more often than I do. I pretty much only know the Hanukkah prayer, and I'm not really a good practicer, but it's a beautiful religion. There are a lot of stereotypes for Jewish people. They're quite stingy with their money. They talk a lot.
whenever people find out that I'm Jewish, they'll be like, "Oh, you don't look Jewish," and I'm like, "Didn't know Jews are supposed to look a certain way," you know? Like, I feel it's a common misconception that Jews are short, greedy little people, you know, they're not good at sports, curly black hair.
They have big noses. They're all from the East Coast. Like, they're all from New York or just like have that accent. And that's not necessarily true. And it's kind of funny how people try to generalize like who looks Jewish and who, you know, like, oh, you look Jewish. Oh, like you act Jewish. You know, it's more than just that. It's a cultural thing by far. And that's what really makes my family pretty close.
Even though I'm not affected by discrimination or stereotypes in my everyday life, I still feel it's very important to know where I come from. And I feel it's very important for other people who may not be a part of the Jewish faith to, you know, look into other cultures and try to broaden their horizon, you know? I feel that'd be a very good learning experience for anyone of any culture.
It's a constant reminder in my family of just, you know, how privileged we are to be here and how lucky my family is to have had the opportunity to move here. So.
All of a sudden we saw the gate open, and here came tanks with soldiers on them. We had no idea whether they were American, German, or who they were, but they turned out to be all American units that found us there. And what was the most unbelievable thing that we saw there, everybody that came on those tanks were of black color. We did not still know who they were, but we quickly were told that at that time the army segregated the black and the white people. And I have never in my life prior to that experience ever seen a black person. And we were very scared because we did not know what they were going to do with us. But we quickly discovered that they are our liberators and that they would help us. Well, they did. Right behind them came the Red Cross. And the Red Cross, along with the soldiers, they started treating us like human beings. At that day, I weighed 58 pounds, and I was 16 years old. I was nothing but skin and bones. Had the war lasted another day, I really don't think I would have made it.
Good morning. Welcome to the 2017 Coronado High School sophomore class trip to UCLA and the Museum of Tolerance. We're about 6:15 in the morning, and we got about 250 kids ready to go. Right here.
This past Monday, the sophomore class of 2019 went on a field trip to the MOT, otherwise known as the Museum of Tolerance. It was not an ordinary educational trip. Instead, it put many students in a first-person perspective of the Holocaust by giving them each an identification card of someone whom they didn't know lived or died until the end of the tour. It was definitely a very immersive and interactive museum that left many students speechless, shocked, surprised, and emotionally sympathizing with the victims of this tragedy known as the Holocaust. But let's now hear what students themselves have to say.
Yeah, I just don't know how people had that in them to hurt other people and kill them. It makes me sad.
And there's hope in every way. In bad times, there's hope, like present day.
I think that, like, even though the topic of the museum was really sad, I think there is hope because, like, you could obviously, as everyone was walking through, everyone, like, there's an effect on everyone. And I think everyone's, like, especially after going through that, starting to realize, like, how bad everything truly is and, like, how sensitive and, like, caring we need to be to everyone to prevent stuff like that from happening.
Well, I mean, I just hope that, like, it will never happen again because that was, like, truly terrible. And I hope we can all just be tolerant.
This definitely impacted the students, and we hope it impacts you as well, because we are the youth and the future that can prevent tragedies and events such as these from ever occurring again. I'm Angel Jimenez, signing off for Islander TV.
Bullying, hate is very damaging to anybody. If you see it around you, don't be silent. Speak up. Let them know. And also, I want to leave you with one more thought. There is no gold bricks on the road. There is no milk coming out of the faucets. But there is an opportunity in this country for everybody to succeed and work hard and achieve what he set out to do.